Hey, everybody, welcome back to the podcast. Haven't seen you all since last year. We are back. It is the best podcast on YouTube, regardless of what anybody else might tell you. I'm Rick, joined as always by Ryan, aka Big Show. How are you doing, man?
I'm all right. How are you?
I can't complain. I'm still on the right side of the dirt, so that's got to count for something.
There you go.
So, if you guys have looked at the thumbnail, you know we are talking football. And I know it's the end of the regular season, and we're going to get to the playoffs. For those fortunate teams that are in there. Uh, if you guys check out our earlier episodes, you know that neither one of us thought that this thing was going to go the way that it went. But before we get to the pros, I want to talk a little college, and we'll circle back to the pros, and you'll see why. Um, we got some bowl games coming up, show. And
We do.
I don't know how much you followed them so far. In the Peach Bowl,
Very-
we've got number one Indiana versus number five Oregon, and in the Fiesta Bowl, we've got number six Ole Miss, and they are playing number 10 Miami. Now,
Yeah.
I will admit that I've only followed one of these four teams. That would be Oregon, but the last couple of games, I followed Indiana, not for the season, just the last couple of games. There's a reason why, and I'll get to that in a minute. I
I
want
already
to know.
know.
Yeah, you know why. um,
And anybody with half a brain knows why.
yeah, I want to know who do you have winning each one of those games?
Um, Indiana is gonna put the hurt in Oregon, and I'm gonna go with Miami. Miami and Indiana for the national championship. Indiana's gonna win it all.
Okay, and I wasn't even going to talk about who's going to win it all because we'll be back on before that game's played. I think it's the 19th for the championship game.
Well, if
But
either one of those two teams don't make it, I reserve the right to change my mind.
now I will tell you, I've got Ole Miss beating Miami just because to be different. For the other game, though, I really don't care who wins it because I think that whoever wins it is going to win the national championship out of the Oregon IU game. I think it will be
Oregon's
like
not
you,
very.
Indiana.
Oregon's not as good as you think they are.
That's true, but I will say this: Indiana played Oregon earlier in the season, and they did beat Oregon. That's Oregon's only loss. However, it was 30-20. I'm curious to know what the
At
Oregon
Oregon.
coaching staff, yes, it was at Oregon.
At Oregon.
I,
So
I am
it's
curious to know what, if anything, the Oregon coaching staff learned from that game and if that will play out the same or if Oregon will put up a fight.
I
Uh,
think it'll be a good game. I don't think Indiana's going to like destroy them, but it's going to be a good game. Whoever wins the Miami Ole Miss game is going to be slaughter for Indiana.
Pretty much.
But if Oregon is to beat Indiana, whoever wins the Miami Ole Miss game has a puncher's chance to beat them because Oregon is not that good.
You can see that. I can see that. Only thing I know that Oregon has been, and like I said, I followed them. Oregon, for lack of a better word, they've got a chip because they don't feel like people think that they can be a football powerhouse. And with good reason, because right now they're not. I mean, unless they win it all, I think people will still think of them as, for lack of a better word, a could have been kind of team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And and they're one of those teams that the only way they're going to get out of the shadow of that stigma is to actually do something like winning a national championship. I don't even mean going to it and getting beat. That's happened already. They've got to win the damn thing. Sure, let's go ahead and go there. You know the reason why I followed IU the last couple of games. My team has been in the running for the number one draft pick. We secured it. Let's just call it what it is. Come April 20, whatever, with the first pick in the NFL draft, the Las Vegas Raiders select Fernando Mendoza, quarterback, IU.
You hope.
I hope you're right because Mark Davis could, I'm going to quote you, he could Raider the whole thing and screw it all up.
I'll be honest. If I was Mark Davis, this is just me. If I was Mark Davis, you know, after the playoffs are over, I'd give Indiana's coach a call. Hey, would you be interested in being the head coach for the Raiders and continuing to coach your quarterback there?
I can see some pros and some cons to it. I mean, the league is a different monster altogether. Um,
Football's football, bro.
I mean, yes, at the end of the day, it is, but
I mean, look at the coaches that have went from college to the NFL and still won Super Bowls and championships. I mean,
yeah.
Pete Carroll, Jimmy Johnson, just right off the top of my head.
That being said, those guys have had some say in the players that they get. I think if he came to Vegas, Spytek and Brady would have more say than he would.
Maybe.
I just have a sneaking suspicion. And usually a successful coach has quote unquote his guys. I, I'm not saying that would be a bad thing, but since we've circled back around to the pros, what do you think about John Harbaugh as the
What
next
about
Las
him?
Vegas coach?
You don't want that.
All right, sell me away from it. Tell me why I wouldn't want it.
Well, I'll tell you, why do you want it?
I think, and I'm going to say this right now, I don't necessarily want it because to me, he hasn't proven anything. Yes, won a Super Bowl, but it seems like with the years he's been there, correct me if I'm wrong, he's been there 15 years.
18.
How 18? Okay, that's even longer. How come he didn't get farther? How come he didn't win more?
Well, he's been to
He,
two, won one.
yeah, but lately he's had Lamar Jackson. He's had the best running back in the NFL, or at least the top five running back in the NFL.
He's got
He's
Hall
had
of
a
Fame.
okay. So as the head coach, though, he he's the ultimately responsible.
He's a
I
special teams coach that became a head coach. He's the only head coach that was strictly a special teams coach. Didn't coach offense, didn't coach defense.
I don't I don't know if that part weighs too much into it. I can see where you're coming from. You should, lean strongly in one direction or the other to build an identity. But
Well, you don't know what you don't know.
I like that. I like that.
If you haven't, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm sure he's part of the game plan, being the head coach and everything, but he's not
Uh,
installing an offense. He's hiring an offensive coordinator, and they install that in offense. He doesn't have his own offense identity, where you can
yeah,
say, for instance, Pete Carroll has an identity. Andy Reid has an identity. Sirianni has an identity. McDermott has an identity. all those guys have an identity. He doesn't
I'm
have
gonna
an offensive philosophy.
I'm gonna throw out two names that I actually think would be better than John
Can I
Harbaugh.
throw out one first? And I think should be your coach. Can I throw it out there first?
Yes, go right ahead.
Stefanski.
Really?
Yes.
That wasn't one of my two picks. I'll tell you why in a minute. But I can see that. I can see that if he's one of those, going back to what I was saying earlier, if he's allowed to have his guys and to run the scheme that he wants, I think he can make it successful. And I'm going to go as far as to say, I think if he had started Shador a couple games earlier, they wouldn't necessarily be in the playoffs, but they would have had a better record and probably would have secured his job for the future. But he was dead set on not playing him early on in the season until he had to play him. Not saying that Shador is all that. I'm just
Yeah,
saying, see
yeah,
what the kids got.
Shador is a backup quarterback. He's a Geno Smith. Uh he's a Kirk Cousins. He's that type of player. He's not he's a gap player. He's a good guy to play 3 or 4 or 5 games. I don't think he's a starter in the league. I could be wrong. Maybe with the right head coach, he'll flourish. You know, maybe I joked in our group, Stefanski goes to the Ravens and Harbaugh goes to the Browns. Just interchange them and see what happens.
That would be a good fit for the Giants.
No, Browns,
Um,
Ravens. I didn't say Giants.
oh, I'm sorry. I had Giants on the brain.
All right, who's your
Either
second
way.
coach?
Okay, I didn't give you one yet.
Oh, my bad.
You gave Stefanski. I hadn't even thought about him. I'm going with a former head coach who was a coordinator. What about Robert Saleh from San Francisco?
As the Raiders head coach?
Potentially, if you go with a defensive minded coach, I like what he's the only guy that made the Jets legitimate in the last 10 years. Not good enough to keep his job, but
When did he make
it,
the Jets
his
legitimate?
first 2 years there, and then they were
What,
dumpster
what
fire
was their record the first 2 years?
I think they went 8-8, and then because this was a 16 game season, I'd have to check his second and third year.
Check
But
it. We got time.
uh, actually, we're halfway there, so I'll get back to that. I'll circle back to that. But while I'm going there, the other pick, and now his name escapes me. He coached the Dolphins, and he has a current lawsuit against the NFL. He's a defensive coordinator. I want to say for the Vikings, is it now? God, I can't even remember his name right now. And he really wants to prove himself as a coach. And
I
and
know who
his
you're
suit
talking about.
against them. Okay, so his suit against them was because they allegedly wanted him to tank, and he did not want to tank uh his season, and that got him fired. I like that
All right,
the fact that he's got a chip.
I got Robert Sala stuff up here. You said legitimate. So 2021, they were 4-13.
Uh-huh.
2022, they were 7-10. 2023, they were 7-10. In 2024, he was 2-3 and got
So
fired.
7-10. Okay, I thought it was 8. Okay.
His overall record was
One less one.
20 and 36. Perfect Raider coach. I like the way you're thinking.
Ha 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 ha. No. But also, I want to say this before we get off of coaches. I really don't want to just look at what their record was because obviously, if he had a winning record, he'd still be there. I want to know, are you hungry? What can you build? Can you build what you're trying to build? If you look at, and I've done this before on the podcast, I look at Detroit as a great example.
Brian Flores. That's the guy's name.
Thank you. Thank you, Brian Flores. I look at Detroit as an example. They went what, two and whatever in Dan Campbell's first year, and then they got legit. And I know these last 2 years they've had a lot of injuries, but they still had an outside shot at the playoffs this year. Uh, didn't work out for them, but I think a Dan Campbell type coach, that would be something that's good for us.
Dan Campbell is good because of his coordinators.
That's okay.
It's not
Wasn't it?
because here it is. His coordinators, one went to Chicago. Look where they're at now.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure the other one,
The other
I
one
want
went
to
to Arizona and got fired. Jonathan Gannon.
not that was Philly's coach.
Oh, that was Philly's coach?
Um,
Okay, let me look here. Here's the head coach firings. We know Carroll is out. Harbaugh's out. John Gannon from Arizona. Okay. Kevin Stefanski, Raheem Morris in Atlanta, Brian Dayball in New York, and Brian Callahan in Tennessee. So yeah, I don't know who the other one was, but he is not on this list, so he did not get fired.
yeah,
Um,
I'm trying to look it up here.
okay, but you're right.
Oh, duh. The other one, the Jets head coach.
Ooh, yeah, yeah. But the Jets have said he's gotten another year, so he'll be on
Right.
the
I mean,
hot
but
seat
that's
next year.
his coordinators went away, is what I'm
Hmm.
saying. And then they had a downfall this year.
Yeah. Do
So
you
to
do
me,
you
it's
think
not
they
to
lost a
me, it's
step
not
on
Kimball.
defense, offense, or both?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I know from what I've seen, and I didn't watch very much Detroit football. It looked like they lost a step on offense for real. It looked to
Yeah.
me like injuries caught up with them on defense.
They couldn't. I mean, it was just Chicago's year. I mean, just it is
Yeah.
what it is, But a good coach.
And
You mentioned they got fired. I think he'd be a good coach for the Brian Daboll would be a good head coach for you guys.
I don't.
What he did, what he did with Josh Allen with Buffalo Bills as their coordinator. Imagine having Mendoza as his quarterback and what he could do. He's a quarterback whisperer. He's really good with quarterbacks, young quarterbacks too.
I tell you what. I tell you what. If the Raiders do what they should do, what the fans want them to do, not what Mark wants to do, but what we want them to do. Here's what they need in the draft. Obviously, we need a QB. Obviously, we want Fernando. If for any reason we didn't get that first round pick and somebody else got him, I could probably settle for Dante Moore, but I'd rather have Mendoza. Uh, but we need offensive line. We need some big ass bullies to make holes for our running back. We got a fire running back, and he can't get past the line because people are already in his face. We
Did
need a
you
corner.
did you hear his stats? Genty stats. He had 1,300 yards rushing, right?
Mm-hmm.
13. What was? Look it up real quick here. I think it was like 13 something, like 1386 somewhere. Anyway, he had over. He only had 300 and some odd yards where he wasn't touched. Hit the other 1,000 yards he got was after contact. That's how
Yeah,
tough he is.
he's very tough. He's very.
That's a hell of a stat.
Yeah, I love that. And if we could just make some more holes for him, we could probably use another safety. Although I do like that Isaiah Palmalo. I don't know how it's pronounced. He's a heavy hitter, but we need some help out there. We need a good free safety out there, Roman, ready to make some more hits. And my goodness, we need some defensive line help. Somebody to be a co-anchor with Max Crosby if we keep Max.
So what you're
And
saying is you need a football team.
it pretty much comes down to it. We got 10 picks. So
We need a
with 10
line. We need a
picks,
safety. We need some corners. We need a quarterback. Yeah. The thing we don't need is a running back.
we got 10 picks. We got to hit on at least five of those picks. We have to. And we got to get two, maybe three good free agents. And what I mean by good free agent is I don't want anybody in their 30s that are on their last leg looking for a big payday. I don't want anybody who is a malcontent or a problem. Now, what do I mean by those two things? Um, we thought we got Crosby some help in free agency a couple of years ago. Dude got injured, was out for most of the season. I think he hurt his foot celebrating a sack. Enough said about that. What I mean by malcontents, I would love a big physical wide receiver, a la who's the kid in Dallas? He's not a free agent, but somebody like that. But he's also a malcontent. The one in
Pickens,
Pittsburgh, yes, no Pickens. But the one in Pittsburgh that got suspended, what's his name?
Metcalf, DK
He,
Metcalf.
yeah, he's not a free agent, but also he's a problem. Not as big a problem as Pickens, but he could have cost his team a playoff spot because that's what people would have said if Pittsburgh had lost. Oh, they would have did it if DK was playing. Now he's back, and I'm looking for them to make some noise, and we will get to the playoffs in just a second. But I want to circle around while we're talking draft needs. I know KC didn't finish where you figured they would. I figured you and me would be 1-2 AFC West representing the playoffs. We was
Well, I knew the
the
Raiders
other
weren't going
end.
to, but I did. I mean, if you go back to everything, I did say the Chiefs are going to take a step back this year. I did not think they would fall off the fucking planet this year.
Well, by step back, I was thinking the same thing, but I figured, okay, you're in as a
I
wild
was
card.
thinking seventh seed,
Yeah.
11 wins, maybe 10 wins. I didn't expect them to just fall off the face of the earth. But you know what? Again, we're playing with house money. We've
Yeah.
been to three Super Bowls straight, won two of them. We played a lot of football. Guys are tired. It's time to regroup.
Well,
Give them a whole healthy.
let me ask you this then.
I want them to draft because we got the number 9 pick overall.
Is it 9?
I
Okay.
I want them to draft Notre Dame's running back Jeremiah Love. That's who I want them to get.
Really?
Yes.
Now we've talked about Vegas's draft history. You guys have gotten a couple running backs. I know you're not happy then with who's the dude that runs like a little kid? Pacheco.
Pacheco. Our running backs suck.
I thought you were pretty high on Pacheco
I
at one
mean, go
point.
back and check the tape, buddy.
And who was the one that was drafted before him?
Maybe his rookie
Clyde
year.
Edwards Hilaire.
CEH, yeah, that was a
What
retarded
happened
pick.
to him?
They cut him. He signed with the Saints. The Saints cut him. We put him on our practice squad, and I think that's where he's at.
Okay. Well, we will know in April more about
I
our
mean,
team's futures and fates.
we need a running back, but it's not going to matter if they don't run the ball. I mean, I'm hoping that Nagy gets an opportunity. So maybe he'll coach the Raiders. Just get him out of here. And I would like to see them bring the enemy back.
What is Eric doing right now?
He's coaching. He's on the Chicago staff. I think he's their running backs coach.
Oh, okay. I did not know that. No wonder they balling. Okay. I like that. Um, Playoffs are coming. So now we're going to talk about the teams that are actually, still playing. By the way, I do have one good stat about us. I don't know how long this is going to last, but currently the Las Vegas Raiders are undefeated in 2026. Take it as you will,
That's true
because
because they've been. You're right.
September will roll around soon, and that stat will change.
I was about to say so are we, but that was before Sunday.
So check it out. Saturday we have the Rams at the Panthers. All right, picks and
Who is it?
prediction time. The Rams at the Panthers. I'm
Okay.
going with the
Okay.
Rams. I'm going with the
Rams.
Rams. Saturday at 7, we got the Packers at the Bears. I'm going with those Bears.
Same.
And then Sunday, we got some games. Bills at the Jaguars. This one's tougher than I thought it would be, but I'm going with the Bills because I think Josh Allen this is it for Josh right here. And then what I mean by this is it, yeah, he'll probably be back in the playoffs next year, but he's got a clear path in the playoff. You got no Mahomes, so the Bills can't say this happened or that happened. It's squarely on them. If they
He's got
don't
no
go anywhere,
Mahomes. He's got no Lamar. He's got no Burrow to deal with.
exactly. That
Um,
means he's got no excuse.
he has no excuses. Exactly.
No
Um,
excuses.
I did pick the Buffalo Bills to go to the Super Bowl on our very first episode this past year.
Yes, you did.
That was my Super Bowl pick. So I'm picking Buffalo to win, but I'm pretty sure Jacksonville is going to give them a run for their money.
Just so everybody knows, we both picked Buffalo to go, but my NFC team isn't even in the playoffs, so we're not even going to go there.
Who was your
Um,
NFC team?
it was the Lions.
Ah,
Um,
you meant
Sun.
Chicago.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I meant. All right. Sunday at 3:30, we've got the 49ers at the Eagles. Mm, ah, I'm going to say the Eagles because San Francisco just they irk me, man. They seem at times like they're legit, but they are so Jekyll and Hyde.
I'm gonna go 49ers.
Okay, tell me why.
Fuck the Eagles.
Good answer. Good answer. Sunday at 7, we got the Chargers playing the Patriots, and the Chargers will charger it up. Trust me. The Patriots are going to win that game.
I don't know. I don't know. Chargers, they're not charging like they have in the past. Um, the Patriots. I mean, I'm gonna pick New England to win. Uh, but I think I wouldn't be surprised if the Chargers beat them. Let's say that. Picking the Patriots to win, but I wouldn't be surprised. I think the Chargers, if they get past New England, they could make some noise. They could definitely make some noise. Um, you know, Drake May's unproven in the playoffs. Regular season's different. He's never played a playoff game. Obviously,
Yes.
Herbert's played a couple. I think Herbert's has he ever won one?
I don't think
Uh,
so.
I want to say he beat the Titans beat him that year in 19. But Harbaugh is a good coach. So coaching makes a lot of difference. Vrabel's a hell of a coach too. So it's a well evenly matched up. The Sunday games are going to be really good.
Yes. The one that I have a problem with is the Monday game. Yes, you heard that right. Monday, because, as of a couple of years ago, wild card weekend means Saturday, Sunday,
Saturday,
and
Sunday,
Monday.
Monday.
The Texans at the Steelers.
I like this game.
This is a good matchup.
I like this game. This game is really good, and it's going to be too bad that Texans are going to beat the Steelers.
I can't argue with that because, yes, I know the Steelers beat the Ravens Sunday night to get in, but that was off a missed field goal for Baltimore, for real. Baltimore
Oh, it was
should
a
have.
miss. It was actually off of a missed extra point by the Steelers. That field goal should have just tied it, and they should have went to overtime.
True.
But you know, you go back and look at that game. Aaron Rodgers played out of his mind. I mean,
Yes,
that was vintage Aaron Rodgers. You're not going to see that for 3 or 4 games straight. And Texans defense is fire.
I agree. I agree. So,
So we got playoff games Thursday, Friday, Saturday,
no,
Sunday, Monday.
no, just Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
No, we don't. We have college football playoff Thursday,
Okay.
college
Yes,
football
yes,
Friday,
yes.
Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
That is true.
Playoff football.
So, yeah, this that starts tomorrow, y'all, or today for the people that are watching the podcast because we record a day early. But
right.
man, it's going to be a lovely next few days. And we'll have to see if our predictions hold true. Um, Now, before we get out of here, we're not going to go any further than this first round of the playoffs because I want to talk, more playoffs in the future.
Hmm.
But I want to ask you of these playoff teams,
Hmm.
which one surprises you most? I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this by just being there that you didn't expect because I
That
know
they're
which one I
in
would pick. Yeah,
that they're in there.
yeah.
Hmm. The Broncos probably for me.
Which
Because
is a good,
if you go on, just at the beginning of the year, what we thought, I'm surprised that they played as well as they did.
yeah. And I would also say the Bears because I didn't expect them to be this good. I expected them to be
I don't know
better,
that
but I didn't expect them to be good.
I didn't expect them to be as good as they were, but I did expect them to be a playoff team.
Both legit choices, both legit choices. And on the flip side of the ones that are in, who did you expect to be better than they actually are? I'm going to go ahead and say Buffalo. Buffalo got in,
Mhm.
but Buffalo
Yeah.
looked kind of shaky.
I did not see New England taking back the division like they did.
Right.
I did not foresee that. So yeah, Buffalo's a good choice.
Yeah. So, reiterating, Josh, if you just happen to be watching this podcast, and why would you? Because you're at home with Haley Steinfeld. But if, please, this is your
I wouldn't be
opportunity,
I
bro.
wouldn't be playing my best either if I was at home with Haley. So I'm
All
just saying.
right. Before we close it out, a
The
couple more
second
questions.
team, hold on, the second team real quick, also that we could
Mm-hmm.
throw in there, the Panthers. Didn't expect them to be the playoffs.
I'm the only reason why I didn't pick them. The only reason why they're in because everybody in that division finished 9-8, and the only
Yeah,
reason
they
why they're
won their
in is
division. They won their
well,
division.
they won their division off of a tiebreaker. Everybody in that
So
division finished 9-8. What the
so
hell, man? I mean,
they still
yeah.
won.
Well, the Falcons put them in.
But they beat the Buccaneers
But the Falcons put them in because
to get
if the
in.
Saints had won that game, then the Buccaneers would be in. So
Now, because Buccaneers would have lost they lost to the Panthers, didn't they?
yeah, but that gave them the same record. So the winner of the Atlanta New Orleans game was going to determine which one of those teams got in. If the Falcons win, the Panthers get in. If the Saints won, the Buccaneers would have got in.
Gotcha.
That's what screwed that whole division up. Um, why couldn't they all just be like Baltimore and Pittsburgh, play straight up, and whoever wins gets in?
Well, that's because the rest of the division wasn't like that.
That's true.
What was
There's a
the other
meme going
question?
around. There's a meme going around that has a goalpost up, and in the
Hmm.
middle it says if the kicker makes this, Tomlin is fired. And on either the left side or the right side, if the kicker misses, Harbaugh is fired. Damn, that meme came true.
Yeah. I think
Okay.
regardless whether Lamar would have won or not, they'd have fired him before next year anyway. He didn't get fired off of that game.
Well, what if he would have went deep into the playoffs? A
I
couple of
think the
wins.
only way that they would have kept him is if they would have went to the Super Bowl.
Mm. Okay. Second of three questions, real quick. We got coaches that are in the playoffs right now. While we're on that subject, is there anybody in the playoffs, coaching wise, that's still in the hot seat?
McDermott, the Buffalo's coach, I'd say Tomlin is probably still in the hot seat. Philly's coach is on the hot seat too, probably.
Really? We don't see him on
Yeah,
the hot seat because he
can't
just
control his
came off,
team.
but he just came
Can't,
off a Super Bowl win.
So did the head coach in 2017 of the Eagles, and then the very next year they fired him.
That's true. No mercy. I mean, I
Like I
can
said
see
earlier,
it, but
fuck the Eagles.
McDermott, I think, is especially on the hot seat. I think if he goes one and done in these playoffs to the Jacksonville Jaguars, he's out that following Monday.
Possibly, possibly.
I think definitely. And I think
I
if he
think
goes to
he's
the second
definitely
round,
one.
if he goes to the second round and loses, it becomes a possibly. But I think if he loses this weekend, it's a definitely because he's had ample opportunity, and we know what we say about that window of opportunity. It is very very limited. You've got
When you have a premier quarterback like Josh Allen.
the reigning MVP, so
I'm
you
saying
got to do
whenever
something.
you have that type of quarterback, your window's wide open.
Yeah, hey, I could be wrong, but somehow I just get that feeling. Final question: going back to your respective team, the Chiefs.
Hmm.
When will Patrick Mahomes be ready, 100% ready to go? I don't know if it'll be week one or not. You know more about the injury than me. And do you expect Kelsey to be there?
I expect Kelsey to retire. I'd be surprised if he comes back. As for Mahomes, Mahomes says he'll be back week one. I mean, I doubt if he won't be doing any training camp. He won't be any preseason games. Maybe week three, week four, depending how his rehab goes.
Okay. All right, kids. That's our NFL today. Check with us next week because we'll be curious to see how we did in these picks. Show, do you have anything before we get out of here?
Nah, brother, that's it. Appreciate you
Okay.
guys for watching.
Yes, thank you all very much. And we will be back next week with another good one for you. Love you. You guys stay positive, stay blessed.